this is Faith at Faith and Books. How are you doing? I forgot my tripod, so I'm just holding this. I'm perching it on the steering wheel, so I'll see if I can do this without, jostling the camera too much. Anyway, it's Memorial Day weekend in the USA, and so this is Monday, and I'm sitting in the parking lot of a park. This big pickup truck is going by me, which I forgot it would be really busy. It's not as busy as it would be because it's chilly and rainy. It's not that warm, and it's just been raining off and on. There's a big water park as part of this park, and then there's camping grounds, and like our Scouts troop camps here on, when do they do it? Labor Day weekend? Is that when they have a camp out? Anyway, there's lots of people around. So I'm going to try and be quick. Let's see. I'm going to drop the phone. Okay. So it's Memorial Day weekend, and in the town that I live in, for some reason, they honor the dead by having a big carnival or a big fair. And so we've been to it. We went Saturday and yesterday. So on Saturday, I went into the used bookstore, which is in the basement of the little museum in the town. And I got some books, so I thought I would show them to you. So the first book that I saw, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do this? Let me see if I can do this. It's such a huge book. It's Truman by David McCullough. Look at that. So I've been trying to participate when I can. It's too heavy to keep holding up. When I can in the David McCullough read-along. However, I have probably DNF'd the one on the Brooklyn Bridge, building the Brooklyn Bridge. And I've read over 400 pages in it. But I just stopped reading it, and I can't read it right now because of my eyes. And I think I'm just moving on to other things. So that's the first David McCullough book that I have DNF'd. I've read a number of them. I've read 1776 and John Adams, and I've read Mornings on Horseback, and I've read The Path Between the Seas, and I read the Johnstown Flood. So I've read a bunch of them, but I don't think I'm going to finish the Great Bridge one. I think it's called The Great Bridge. And I don't think I'm going to be ready to read Truman, I think, when they start up again, which might be next month or maybe it's July. But at some point, I want to read that really big book. Because I'm interested in Truman, because my father fought in World War II in the Pacific. And both my mother and father, really loved FDR. And he had been their president for so long. And then when he suddenly passed away, and Truman, who was to them, I think, kind of an unknown quantity, became president, they were glad that he was a good president. They saw him as a really good president. And I know dropping the atomic bomb was really controversial, but my dad, being in the Navy, fighting the Pacific, really thought it was necessary. So, that's a very controversial moral dilemma. Anyway, I've always been, because my parents liked Truman so much, I've always been interested in learning more about him. So I really do want to read that book. I just don't know when it's going to happen. And then the second book that I saw in this little basement used bookstore is this one, The Building of, I don't know how you say that, Jalna, or is it Halna, by Mazo de la Roche. And apparently this is a series, it's so vintage looking, I love the cover, from Canada. The first one was just called Jalna. Let's see, it says in 1927, an unknown Canadian writer won the Atlantic's something prize with her novel Jalna. So Mazo is a woman's name. Since then, Jalna has been translated into a dozen different languages. Got turned into a play. So this is just one of 9 books about Jalna or Halna. If you're Canadian, is this familiar to you? I just picked it up because it looks so vintage and interesting. Oh, here's all the books, the list of all the books. Anyway, it was $2. So I'm interested in that. Of course, I can't really read anything right now. I can read for like a minute or two if the print is clear, but I really can't read more than that. Then I saw this one, The Mill on the Floss by George Eliot. This is the one major work by George Eliot I have not yet read. Ever since I started on BookTube, I've been reading an Eliot book every January. This past January, though, I didn't. I read Paradise Lost instead. So next January, I'm going to read The Mill on the Floss. I'm afraid of this one because I've heard it's really depressing. But then I've heard other people. Just recently, I heard somebody whose taste I really admire or, click with say that they love The Mill on the Floss. So I want to read this January. If anyone wants to join me in January reading The Mill on the Floss, let me know, because that would be good. It might be good to buddy read this. Then I saw this, The Joy of the Gospel, or Evangelii Gaudium. And it's so funny because I'd just been talking to my son about this, about wanting to read it, and then I saw it. So I got that. That was also $2. Then I was in the children's section, and man, people were just picking over the children's section like crazy. It was very competitive. So I didn't get much for them, but I did find this. Oh, I put it on. You're the Best, Amelia Bedelia. It's got 3, the original, the first book, and then 2 more. And it's got a CD, so they can listen to it. My grandsons, I got it from my grandson, specifically the 3-year-old who likes Amelia Bedelia. But then yesterday, the 5-year-old announced that he too liked Amelia Bedelia. So they were listening to this, and we went to the fair with them last night, and so then they came back to our house for dinner, and they were listening to this last night. So I think that was a good buy. And then I got this one, Master and Commander by Patrick O'Brien. We had this at some point, but I cannot find it. I've not been able to find it for a while. We have, I think, the 3 books that follow this one in the series, but Master and Commander was missing, so I decided to get that because I have been thinking off and on that I'd like to. I started to read it a long time ago, and for some reason I didn't finish it, and then it went missing. So I'd like to maybe try this again, since I love Hornblower so much. I feel that I should really give this another go. So yeah, so that was my book haul. The other thing that's book related is that my husband and I watched the Two Towers film. We watched an hour of it on Friday night, and then we watched the last 2 hours last night. And was it last night? No, it was Saturday night. We watched it Friday and Saturday. Yeah. Today is Monday. See, we have it off, so I'm confused about what day it is. But I was disappointed. They've really changed Faramir's character, and I really enjoyed his character in the book. And they just changed things in ways that I think they were just really, really trying to make everything ultra dramatic. And for instance, they changed where the battle happened and all that, which I could see why they did that. That kind of makes sense. But then they had this weird thing happening with Aragorn where he falls off a cliff and then somehow he comes back to life, and I didn't understand that part at all. And then they kind of changed the relationship between Frodo and Sam a little bit in a way. I mean, especially Frodo, they make him much more affected by the ring than he was. He wasn't affected in that way, in the way they depict it. So, and I can kind of see why they did that, but it was a little bit over the top, I thought. There's some directors that do not trust the audience to get anything subtle. So they have to be really, hammer it in, because they just don't trust their audience. I think Elijah Wood, with his big, beautiful blue eyes, could convey a lot of subtle emotion if Peter Jackson had let him, but he didn't, because he was into the spectacle part of it, which I get that's really technical and really complicated and all that, all these scenes of battle and the orcs, all the makeup you'd have to put on and all that stuff. But that's not the thing that really I'm that interested in. So anyway, and then what was the other thing? Oh, and then at the end, they just blow the plot. My husband was really upset at that. He had remembered that. They blow the plot. So Elijah or Frodo basically tells the evil peoples are, that he has the ring, and he's not even in Mordor yet. I mean, why would they? It was stupid. It was a really stupid thing to do. It didn't make sense for the plot. It was just done for dramatic effect, and so I thought the movie was pretty disappointing. I think the first movie's was better, and also they didn't end the movie where the book ends. So there was no Sam battling Shelob or whatever her name was. So they didn't have that part of it. So yeah, I wasn't impressed. So hopefully the final movie will be better. So anyway, I'm going to stop next. I'm going to go grocery shopping, and then I'm really hoping to cut my hair today. I hope I have my act together and can make an appointment and get it trimmed. If I can't, I do have tomorrow morning. I also need to really weed my garden, but it's so rainy out. But I don't know. Okay, so I will talk to you later. Bye.